Mama's gone mad. Mama's gone mad. Mama's gone mad.
Hi, I'm Brenna, and this is the Mama's Gone Mad podcast.
Mama's gone mad. Mama's gone mad.
So I'm back. I never went far, I promise. Basically, for those of you who listen but don't follow the Instagram, you won't have seen the post. I basically popped a post on saying I needed a break. And that's all it was. It wasn't over. It just, I needed a break for myself. This podcast for me was always meant to be something for me to be like, it's like an outlet. It was always meant to be almost therapeutic. It was meant to be a way for me to communicate to other mothers or fathers who were struggling, and it was slowly becoming a chore. So instead of me going, oh, I need to record the podcast, I was going, oh, I need to record the podcast. And that was never what I wanted it to be. So I took a little break, and I can't guarantee that I'm going to be back every single week because I have to prioritise my mental health. That's just how it is. But I am back. I just want to say as well, I wanted to open this episode by going, I'm back, bitches, like in between the Mama's Gone Mad bits, and I thought that might not be the best. But that's really what I wanted to do. I'm sorry, my throat probably sounds terrible. If you listen to my other podcast with Molly, who came on here about ADHD and parenting, we have a podcast together now called the ADHD Readers Book Club. It's very silly, very fun. We sometimes get drunk on it. It's a whole heap of laughs, and I can see it getting much more fun in the future as well. Then you will know that I was recently quite poorly with my throat and stuff. I had strep throat and I got quite poorly with it. And then 2 weeks of antibiotics and some rest and stuff. But my throat still, even after 2 weeks, isn't fully better. It keeps getting dry really quick, so I'm struggling to talk like for too long without having a drink. So this might sound terrible, sorry. And I keep doing that. I keep kind of clearing my throat like that. I'm not meaning to sound horrific. It doesn't. It's like there's something stuck in it sometimes. So I hope you've all been well. Hope you've all been taking care of yourselves. Summer holidays around the corner. It's a long time for the kids to be off, but mine are definitely ready. I don't know about anyone else's, but mine are so ready for the break. Especially because I'm recording this on Thursday, and last night England got through to the finals of the Euros, which is on Sunday, so it'll all be over by the time this comes out. Praying we win. I'm sat here in my England shirt right now, but because of them staying up until like 10 o'clock, they're shattered today, and I don't think it helps. You know, it's in the run-up to some holidays, they're just exhausted. But that obviously means more tantrums, more kick-offs, more arguments, and you just like... I hit that point recently where I kind of stopped shouting, and I felt a lot better for it. Like, still shout now and again, but when they're losing their minds, I've kind of hit the point of just allowing it to happen around me a bit, which is strange for me because I tend to be quite, I try to be patient, but I'm not a patient person in any shape or form. I can't even stand in a queue without tapping my foot, you know. So I feel kind of at peace with myself in a weird way, and I think having a break from this has helped that, because I just needed to take one thing off my plate and allow myself time to get to grips with mine and Molly's new podcast, the ADHD Readers Book Club, and just get all my things straightened out, you know, because I felt like I was carrying a tray full of fine pottery and, you know, fine china, and I was wobbling it a bit, so I've tried to take a bit of a step back. Also, it's looking like I'm going to as per I can't speak, it's looking like I'm going to get a hysterectomy, so that's good. I'm staying on the Zoladex for an extra 3 months, then seeing another consultant. I've had 2 confirm they're happy for me to have it. They can't see any reason this 3rd consultant would say no, but I think that 3rd consultant basically needs to confirm with me that I'm sure, and then hopefully I'll get a hysterectomy. I'm hoping it'll be next year, after Prague ideally, but I feel like really positive and really calm, and really tired because I stayed up till 2 a.m. wired about the England match. Gee whiz, what's been going on in my life? Not a lot. So I don't have a heap to say on this episode, I'm not going to lie. Everything's been kind of up and down, I guess. You know, there's always good and bad. We've had some good news, some bad news. In the past few weeks, we've been sort of exhausting ourselves to our limits, but then allowing ourselves to, if that makes sense. So we've been like, okay, this is human, everyone struggles with this, and we've not been bullying ourselves with it as much. So I feel like although life isn't exactly easy right now, we're in a place where me and Stuart and the kids are able to deal with that. I hope you've all been well, and I feel like I really abandoned everybody. I didn't mean to. I really, really did just need a break. I'm trying to think what I can possibly talk about, because I haven't massively planned this episode. So it's probably literally going to be a 10-minute episode of me just apologising for leaving you all in the lurch. I did not mean to do that. I would never do that to anybody. And I feel so glad that so many of you felt comfortable enough to reach out to me, check I was okay, tell me your concerns, all this. I'm glad that Mama's Gone Mad is still something that people can relate to. I'm glad that it still gets passed around. And I felt really sad that I had to take a few weeks off. I haven't recorded since before our trip to Spain, so I guess I'll talk a little bit about that. It was amazing. So we stayed in Benidorm, in a resort called Magic Robin Hood. I had read so many bad reviews about it after we'd booked it, which had me really on edge, but it was actually incredible. It was so clean. There was so much to do for the kids. The only thing with it, the only issue that I think I had was that the evening entertainment for the kids of our kind of age, which was so Lessia's sort of entertainment, I think started at 8 or 9, and then the evening entertainment for like Lily and James being nearly 8 or 9 was like 10 p.m, and then it finished around midnight. So we didn't stay up for many of them. That's really late for my kids, and they were tired anyway because we were on holiday. They were busy all day in the pool and stuff, so that was my only issue. Obviously, we were an hour ahead, so it was technically like 9 till 11:30, but still, that felt late. There was so much to do. The kids and Stu did laser tag. I'll maybe post some of the things onto the Insta because I don't think I have posted any of our holiday pictures onto the Insta for anyone who's interested. There was like shuttle buses every day that you could book on the app, so that you could go into Benidorm for free with your stay. You could go to a zoo and another resort like a water park for free with ultra all-inclusive, which was what we went for. We didn't go to the zoo and the water park. We just felt like every day was already so busy in the resort, just exploring, going to different places for dinner, because there was like restaurants on the resort within the ultra all-inclusive, and it was amazing. I would fully recommend it. The flight was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Lily struggled with landing. She was fine for takeoff, but landing, she was crying for her ears, bless her. Alessia just didn't like being held down. That was her issue. James was absolutely fine, loved the whole flight, loved the airport and everything. We had a great time. Me and Stu didn't argue once, I don't think. Apart from in the airport, we argued once on our way back because I decided to stay up because our transfer was at like 3:20 in the morning for coming home, and our flight was at like 7. I decided to stay up, so they all went to bed at like maybe about 8:30, 9, including Stu. Then I woke them all up at like 3 a.m. with everything ready on the deck, and literally their clothes were out. All they had to do was put. The kids went to bed dressed. Alessia went to bed dressed. Stu went to bed in just boxers, like he changed his boxers, went to bed. So I just laid him some clothes out to shove on. So everything was just ready, and we could literally walk out of the lodge. But when we got to the airport, I started to flag because by then I'd been awake for like 24 hours. So then we went and got me a coffee, but then there was a sudden call for us and we hadn't gone through security. Our fault, we should have gone through security before getting a coffee, but you know, you learn by your mistakes. Anyway, we ran round, and I'm not joking, it was like a 45-minute wait just to get onto the flight. So we literally ran through security in a full panic. And then we got there, and the kids ended up playing on. They had like a play. It was almost like a play park, but in the airport. So the kids just played on there, and it was literally about 45 minutes. And because I'd like had a coffee and ran, and we had no sleep, I felt really sick. So then I went and threw up. So we had a bit of a bicker over that because I was kind of like, you've done airports as an adult, I haven't. You were meant to take the lead. And he was like, Bren, I've never done it with kids. I've never done it for years and years. Like, I wasn't prepared. And like, after that we were both fine, but like, we both just needed to air our annoyance at each other, and it was grand. Overall though, like, this is still the best year for our marriage ever. So that's good. I keep saying as well, I'm so sorry. But the whole thing was amazing. We packed the Switch for, you know, carry-on. Oh, so one thing I will say, because I had a few people ask about this, they wanted to know for once we'd done it. We took a buggy with Alessia in, and we were able to put like a thing on it, a baggage luggage. You know when you send your bags, your bloody hell suitcases, you like wear them and that. We were able to get like a sticker for the buggy, and then we took it all the way to the aeroplane, and then right at the bottom of the steps they then took it from us and put it in the hold. So, and then when we got off, it was the first thing that came out on the conveyor belt both times. So we basically had the buggy the whole time. It was like a cheap one from Argos. It was about 60 quid. I'll also pop like pictures of that on the Insta when I post some of the holiday pictures. So that was just ideal, amazing. So you don't have to worry about that. For the actual flight, we took some sweets for me and Lily to suck on, because I have sensitive ears. Lily has and Stu, because he has really sensitive ears, bless him. I don't know why I forgot him then, sorry. We took Lily's dummies for her to suck on, and James had like fizzes to suck on because he doesn't like hard sweets. But his ears were absolutely fine. Stu's were absolutely fine. Mine popped a bit, but Lily was the one who was in pain. Alessia's were all right, but they seemed it anyway. I think she just didn't like being held and strapped in. She was due a nap, so it didn't work out too well with the timing. We took the Switch for James and Lily. We took colouring books and sticker books, which I'm not going to lie, seemed to be a waste of time. I don't know why we bothered taking them. We took my mother-in-law bought the kids this, it looks like an iPad, but it's not. It comes with like a pen, and you know them old drawing things where you would then swipe it off, but then it was like a white background, but then you would draw on it. It was like black, but it wasn't actual ink. I don't know how to describe it. But she bought like a new version of one of them for the kids. We took that for Alessia, and she loved just sitting drawing on that. We also downloaded some CoComelon on YouTube. That was the best thing we could do. We took snacks and drinks So you can take water bottles, your own ones, because obviously it costs a fortune on the flight, and I was spending enough on the flight. I was having gins, like I had quite a few gins on the way there. But you can take like your own water bottles through security as long as they're empty, and then on the other side of security you can fill them. There's like water fountains. If you ask at like information desks, they'll tell you where they are. That's what we did. So we took a water bottle for all of us. It was like for each of us. It was ideal because it just saved us that a little bit of money. And it wasn't something I knew about, so I figured I would mention it. We took snacks. I think that was about it, and then we let the kids play on our phones when they got a little bit bored of other bits. And I took a book, Stu took a book. Stu, I had Leslie all the way there, and then he had a part of the way back, so they allowed us to sit together on the way back, because what it was, me and the kids sat on one side of the aisle on the way there, me, Alessia, James and Lily, and Stu sat on the other side of the aisle, so there was an aisle between us, but he was right there. And then on the way back, they very kindly, there was some spare seats, so they very kindly got some people to move, and they put the kids on one side, Lily and James, and then no one, so they had 3 seats themselves, and then me, Stuart and Alessia on the other side, so that Leslie could have a seat, and I could sort of swap with Stuart with her, so it made it a lot easier. But overall, like, I can't wait to go back. It was amazing. Disney in October, Prague in February, and then we won't be booking anything for a little while because we want to save some money, but it was incredible. And I think coming home from there was what made me realise I just needed to drop one thing so that I could pick myself back up, get myself back together, and be ready to pick it all back up again. Do you know what I mean? So I'm feeling really good at the minute. Just very hot. It's so humid. Like, even when it's raining, it's so humid, and with these hot flushes, I'm dying off. But I just wanted to do like a quick update episode, let you all know that I am back. I didn't really go anywhere, and I am fine, and I still hope you will reach out to me whenever you need me. You can reach out to me on the Instagram at Mama's Gone Mad. Is it _podcast? Oh, it's been so long since I've done this. I'm going to check. Yeah, I feel terrible for that. Mama's Gone Mad _podcast, or you can email me, mamasgonemad23@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening to Mama's Gone Mad.
Mama's gone mad. Mama's gone mad. Mama's gone mad.